Hello everyone and welcome back to another Babbling Irons video. Not a breakdown, an official confirmation of our third summer transfer signing of the summer. Max Kilman, he's the man. Oh my god, why did I say that? That is the worst thing I've ever said on this channel. But Max Kilman, I'm excited. He's a hammer. 40 million. It's quite a lot of money. We're gonna swiftly move past that. How are we feeling? Third signing of the summer.
I don't know if I'm going to be past that. I think, we said before that it's a hell of a lot of money, £40 million for Kilman. However, for a homegrown player, likely to be our captain, arguably top target for our manager, probably the going rate for a Premier League player as well, moving between Premier League clubs. The only thing that I actually feel a little bit bad about, I feel sorry for, is at Maidenhead. They've won and lost at the same time in this transfer, because it was initially about 20% they were getting. We are basically turned around and was like, we're not going any higher than what the fee is. So Wolves turned around and was like, well, they're going to pull out of this deal. You're going to lose money. We're going to lose money. Let's come to a compromise. And, dropped it down to 10%. They still get 4 million, so that's great for a non-league club in their position. However, I feel a little bit bad for them. I don't put it down to us. I don't think that's our fault that it's happening, because I put it more down to Wolves trying to £45 million. Bit excessive from what they was asking, but
I mean, 4 mil is still a really good price, isn't it?
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant for them, and fair play. They've got a good deal, not a great deal is what they would have had. But I'm positive about Kilman, provided we go now and get a proper centre-back partner to play next to him, and then we go get a right-back. But at this time being, it's a good start to the window with Gilham and Kilman.
And Fotheringham as well. Don't forget him.
Don't forget him.
Big Wes.
Yeah.
So Canio gave his start to.
But yeah, as you said, yeah, exactly. It's a good sign, isn't it? It's a good start. It's a good start to the window. Obviously, it's now officially July, so people are starting to kind of push on a little bit with the transfers, and people are a little bit scared that we might be getting left behind. But it looks like we've kind of just got the deal done. Bids accepted for 40 million. Again, Lopetegui's come in. This was his main target to come in at centre back. This was his number one choice. So there's clearly that side of it which has been pushed, and it's probably driven the price tag up to £40 million. But again, it's a key signing in an area where we need to massively strengthen, and I think Max Kilman does come in and strengthen that defense, no doubt about that. Still only 27 years old, and as you mentioned, Mike, he's probably going to be brought in to be captain, as that's what Lopetegui did at Wolves. He made him captain there when he was a manager there. So how are you feeling about it, Sloth? Because we did a breakdown video of Kilman, a couple of weeks ago when we had a bid rejected for him. So if you guys want to check out a more detailed breakdown, links in the description. But yeah, how are you feeling with the signing now? It's happened for 40 million.
I think the difficult thing is the fee. The initial fee, you go, oh wow, that's bloody hell, that's a lot. But I think when you put it into perspective, as you said, it's a Premier League based transfer. They tend to be a lot more. He's homegrown, and that again is going to add another tier onto the pricing. So I'm not that fussed about it overall. I think where I am, I'm kind of excited about the transfer, because I think it's going to be, he's trusted by Lopetegui, that's clear, but also he's 2-footed, and that is incredibly rare in a centre back. He is very confident on the ball, and I think that when we've gone from Aguerd like last season, and just sort of the amount of mistakes he was making, how shaky he looked at times, and with all due respect to Zuma, who's done some wonderful things in the past, a player who switched off a lot last season, I think you can potentially be making a huge upgrade to the defence. And he comes with knowledge of the league. He is someone who is athletic and is going to throw himself at everything. He's going to be much more, say if we did get a Tadibo next to him, then he's going to be much more of the dogged sort of throwing himself at shots and trying to get in the way of things. So I think it's a good balance. And whilst it's a bit of an eye-opener, the figure, I think it's probably going to be one that we look back and go, okay, well, I think he's performed to that level.
Yeah, I mean, when we signed Zuma, isn't it? It was kind of it was not 40 million. It was around what 30 million at the time. I think Zuma was it was a really good signing at the time, but again, it was a little bit more expensive with the injury record that Zuma had. But we were kind of willing to take that gamble because we knew he would just come in and improve the defense. If he did stay fit for the majority of the time, which he didn't at times, but he's been a good signing overall, even if he is sold for less value. But with Kilman, sorry, as you mentioned, the homegrown thing is massive, and I think the reason we've tried to get this deal done so early, when pre-season's just started, is because, as you mentioned, he's probably going to be brought in to be captain, and to bring him in that pre-season is going to be massive for it. So yeah, I think I'm kind of conflicted with it because I'm happy we've made the signing. I'm happy we've backed Lopetegui. I think that's the main part of this. The transfer strategy is clear. Obviously, Steiden and Lopetegui are in sync right now. They're happy to go ahead with that signing and have done. So what are you thinking, Mike? Because it's again, it's 40 million, but at the same time, it's Lopetegui's main man. Is that the main message behind this transfer?
Yeah, I think it is. And whilst I'm not hugely, enamored by the price, we've kind of covered that. But I think what we need to do now is look at the positive side of it. And it's Lopetegui's man. Lopetegui has a very good relationship with him. And if he is looking to make him a captain, I don't see that as a bad thing, because to look at it this way, Max Kilman comes into the team completely fresh, completely new to West Ham, to the team as such. He's not affected by the massive highs that we had in Europa Conference, and just maybe some of the lows that we had in periods and how we've played and some of the discourse between the fans and so on. So he's not impacted by any of that, nor is he impacted by the fact that last year he conceded 70 goals in definitely our poorest defence in Premier League history for us. It's completely new to that, and it's a complete fresh kind of clean slate for him, and obviously then with Lopetegui. But also means Lopetegui comes in with his lieutenant. So this is my man. I'm bringing in my man to do it. It's a player who instantly knows how Lopetegui works, how his tactics work, how best to arguably communicate that to the team. And I think that's a really good and positive thing to have, is that player who has all of that understanding, who can immediately translate it to the actual team itself. What also, it's the good thing is he's a brand new signing, so he's going to have huge enthusiasm to get going and to impress his teammates. Add to that, he's going to be the captain. I think that's probably a really good mix to have a player who is really happy to be coming to West Ham, really glad to be in the position they're in, going to be captain and looking to do everything he can to impress his teammates and new fans. I think actually the captain's armband arguably is actually going to be probably a second fault for him, because there's going to be other factors going on, and he will arguably, you'd like to think, continue the same kind of mannerisms, interactions that he had at Wolves, at West Ham, because it'll be more second nature. And he will also have players like Cresswell who he'll lean on, who I reckon will be, like an unofficial vice captain in many ways to West Ham, and lean on a player like him to bridge that gap of him being new and maybe a new captain.
Well, he also has the confidence already of a manager that he's already played under. So there's already that synergy between the two of them, so that we're not going to have to kind of have that integrated period of, has he got the signing right? Is it going to, suit how Lopetegui wants to play? He knows it. That is the, number one target for him. So in his mind, he's Lopetegui is going to be absolutely over the moon with this signing, because he's got his main man to kind of, again, we're trying to build the spine of the team as well. We need to be careful how we layer things up this season. I said at the beginning of the transfer window, it needs to be a mixture of these likes of Gil Hermes, but it also needs to be the solid signings like a Kilman. So I think in that sense, it's a decent signing for me. I think it's a solid foundation to build off, considering we're only at the start of July. But there's still more work to do. And would this be enough for you guys as a centre back, for our centre back options? Because we're going to have Mavropanos likely playing on the right hand side at the moment, or Zuma alongside Kilman. Aged's probably going to be leaving. So do we need to bring in one more maybe on that right hand side?
We definitely need more. Yeah, we definitely need more. I mean, as I mentioned, as much as I respect what Zuma's done on the pitch for West Ham, I think that we need to be moving him on. And I think if an offer comes in for him, we take it. If we can get in, say, an O'Brien, or I know we've been linked with Umar Soleil in the past. If we can get a strong right-sided centre-back in, I think that would be the best move for all parties. It's very much a case that I think we need two, if I'm being totally honest. That's how bad the defense was last season.
Yeah.
Like, not sugarcoating it. It was a disaster last season, and I think
terrible.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot that our best defensive performance was probably away at the Emirates, and that was with a brand new player who, was looking shaky across the rest of the season, and our oldest centre back who was going to leave at the end of the season. So I think that says a lot. But look, moving past that, we need more. I think if we were to get a player like Todibo in, that would definitely help settle the nerves. And even if he were to come in, then it would make me a little bit less concerned about keeping Zuma, because we have that French core. And I think if he comes in, then, Zuma, Saliba, Areola, it's a good defensive.
Not Saliba. I wish we had Saliba.
Oh, sorry. But it's obviously wishful thinking that. But it's definitely a case that we need to get in a couple more. And
100%.
I think if we can, get a right-sided centre back or another potential right back who can play centre back, that might be a more appealing option for Stuyton.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I think, the positives of this Max Kilman deal is we've got it done pretty quickly. Lopetegui's main man has been acquired, which is fantastic. And again, we're bringing in someone with the Premier League experience, not really got that bad of an injury record. I think he played every minute last season, or close to every minute last season. So again, touch wood, at West Ham, it will be a similar vein. But yeah, and again, the price tag is high. But again, we need to balance how we're approaching the transfer window, and if this is going to turn out to be one of the more expensive signings of the transfer window, then so be it, because you're building that spine, you're building that core from the back in a position we massively needed to improve on. As you mentioned, last season was statistically the worst our defensive record has ever in the Premier League, so it 100% needs addressing. So I'm glad we're getting it done sooner rather than later. Anyways, but yeah, let us know in the comments. Are you happy with West Ham's third signing of the season? Is Max Kilman going to be the man? Let us know in the comments down below. I'm going to sign off. But appreciate you watching. Make sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel for more.
And please do come back after those comments.
Yes, please do. And until the next one, lads. Come on,
Lions.